off the mother sucker. Tether him off the sucker. Tether him off the mother. Tether him off the mother sucker. Tether him off the sucker. Tether him off the mother. Tether him off the mother sucker. Tether him off the sucker.
You got a real type of thing going down, getting down. There's a whole lot of rhythm going round.
We're back with the Ron and Fez Show. Thanks for being with us on a Friday. And next Thursday, it's Dave and Buster's, where we broadcast live at the White Flint Mall. That's in Bethesda, Maryland.
It's going to be a lot of fun, Fezzy. Everybody from the show is going to be out there. Your chance to see the Ron and Fez Show live. Why don't we do this? If you'd like to go out, we'll give away some of the power cards off the air right now. Give us a call.
866-277-4969. That's 866-277-4969. That's for power cards to use on the $1 Million Midway at Dave & Buster's.
So a lot of fun next week. A chance to get hypnotized or watch some people get hypnotized. Contests will be going on. A billiard tournament. And then also Crazy Jen escaping. And contests, singing. It's going to be a blast. Come out and see Ron and Fez.
That'll be nice. Crazy Jen adds escape artist to her long, long resume.
And call us now if you're coming out and you'd like to pick up some power cards. We'll turn you on and make sure we'll give you some free Dave & Buster stuff.
866-277-4969.
Now, Fez, I was looking at this site online called Brain Candy. And here's a question. And I've never even thought of it come up this way. What is the best meal you've ever eaten in your life? What is the absolute? Is there one point in your life where you could say, that's the best meal I ever had?
Yeah, I think it was when I ate the big steak at Morton's.
That Morton's night in New York was a great night.
Because 7 and 7s.
Yeah.
I had the side of potatoes. I ate the porterhouse for 2, the chocolate mousse cake for dessert. I well-rounded that meal. The appetizer was great, the scallops wrapped in bacon.
Yeah. You remember every bit of that meal. The weird thing about that night is I never felt so close to you. I felt prouder of you than anything we've ever done with this stupid show. Just the fact that you had everybody coming in from every direction. Now, if I was to be truthful about the best meal I'd ever eaten, I'd have to say one either my mom made or my chick. But if it was out to go to a restaurant, I went to Emerald Lagasse's on the menu there and had a really good meal one night when it was the chef's picking. But I'm trying to think other than that. Gramercy Tavern, I had a great meal one night.
Oh, yeah, that place was great.
And that's one of those things where you just say, like, I'm going to do the chef's thing. Whatever they want to bring you. They'll bring you like 7 or 8 courses. That was always good. But it's really weird. Have you ever gotten to that point where you say to yourself, this is the best thing I've ever eaten in my life?
It's nice to be able to remember it.
Yeah.
To have those moments.
All right, let's try this one. And Dubs, you can get in. What's the highest building you've ever been to the top floor of, Dubs? The highest building.
The highest building I've ever been to the top floor of would have to be, oh, God, I guess I've never been probably above like a 20-story building.
That's as high as you've been? Now, do you remember when you were up 20
yeah.
stories?
Yeah. My dad worked at a place called Cars and Concepts, and he just did some car designing, and he worked up on the top floor of it. And that was about 20 floors up.
So like 20 floors, that just had to seem unbelievably tall to you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've never been up that high before.
Especially since they had no elevator. What about you, Crazy Jen?
I went up the Statue of Liberty. We got up in the Crown.
Uh-huh.
And it was back in the day when the elevators didn't work and you had to do us all those.
Yeah, they still don't. You still got to walk that.
But I look down and you feel sick. I mean, you just see.
Oh, yeah, you don't like height, right?
No, and that's when I realized that when I got that nauseous feeling and everybody looks like ants and you're just thinking, I could just fall.
Hey, Billy just wrote into me, how come I wasn't invited out to the night at Morton's? I just wrote back to him, Jeremy. He never liked Meat Fist, and it cost me a steak. F it, F him too. He's still holding a grudge. 2 years, He's holding a grudge.
Here's what I don't understand. Isn't it good enough just to hear the people that went talk about it
Yeah.
and discuss what a great meal it is?
I got to agree with you there. Plus, with his stomach stapling, what could he have? An hors d'oeuvre? Highest building for you, Fezzi.
The observatory at the World Trade Center.
Yeah, I was there too. I was trying to think if I was ever in the Sears Tower, and I haven't been. I've been to Chicago, but, you know, after you get past a certain point, you no longer act like, I've got to go up to the highest point now that I'm here. That's almost more of a kid thing. That, at the towers, that was like being outside in an airplane. Did you go outside?
Yeah, and I did the thing, though, where I went out the door, but I just kind of stayed
Got
right
out a little
next
bit?
to the wall. I just kept my back against the wall.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't like being outside that high either. I mean, it's crazy. And then there's always somebody who wants to stand up on it and look down. People that got no fear of heights whatsoever.
The last time I was up in it, I had my little brother with me, and we saw like a storm coming in, and they had actually closed it. You were up so high, the clouds were coming in eye level at you.
Yeah, that is weird. Oh, you know what? Did you ever see the Orson Welles movie Citizen Kane?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went out to the Hearst Mansion a couple of years ago, and that's what Citizen Kane was based on, Randolph Hearst. And went up this mountain to visit his house. The state of California owns it now. And it's this huge, almost castle, high above the Pacific Ocean, up above L.A., about that. Well, right where the Pacific Ocean Highway starts. And the house was so high, and it's just this huge, like giant chairs, everything's gigantic. And it's so high, it was before air conditioning, but it's real chilly there, you know, that the clouds were coming in off the ocean and rolling through the house while I was inside of it.
Watching that movie and they show that scene where they kind of shoot up at it, I thought it was fake. I had no idea there was really a house that high, you know, above everything.
No, it was absolutely, I mean, that wasn't the real place. What you saw was like a model in that movie, but it was based on that.
Xanadu.
Yeah, that's what they called it. All right, here's one for all you guys. What's the most beautiful place that you've ever been to in the world? That's a tough one, because there's a lot of beautiful places.
Well, I've got two that come to mind.
Uh-huh.
One would be the Smoky Mountains.
Really?
Like driving through Asheville, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I find that just absolutely gorgeous.
Even more than the Rockies?
It was a whole different thing. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
know.
it was mountains, but this was like mountains that I could like take in. The Rockies were so immense, and
They're
that was
stupid.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it was like I got more of a panorama.
All right, you came up with a good point. Sometimes with most beautiful, it has to do with like a whole feeling. Like you have to have like a certain experience at the time.
Mine was, I would have to say.
Trenton?
Nah, well, Trenton, I used to think it was beautiful till I got out, saw there was other stuff. I went camping up in upstate New York, right, and there was no lights or nothing, but it was scary but beautiful because you could hear the coyotes going, oh. And
So darkness for you.
yeah, it was darkness, but it was
So the
mountainy.
most beautiful place you've ever been has been dark.
But I got free biscuits. You could make your own biscuits, and there was an old man. He lived up in the trailer, too.
How bad is your life now that the best thing is closing your eyes?
It's dark and free biscuit.
It was $100 for a week.
Are you doing the best meal you ever had? Question.
No, well, that was some good jelly, though. Got free jelly and biscuits.
That Niagara Falls.
Hey, Ryan, you're on Fez.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the most beautiful place that I've ever been was Fez's mom's house.
That's very nice. Thank you very much.
That's
How about you?
classy.
How about you, Dubs?
I would have to say when I went out to Vegas, when the
Just
sun
so gorgeous when when the sun's coming up over the crap table.
when the sun was going down, we decided to go out to the desert area where you and it felt like you were almost on the moon or something.
I love the desert. I agree with you 100%. I love Sedona. I love the desert. Hefe wants to hop in.
The Isle of Capri. I was able to like take a little tour of like Europe whenever I went.
Beautiful.
And you're out on the boat, and then they take you into like this little cave where you can see clear down to the bottom, and you're in the middle of whatever sea you're in the middle of.
You know what? It's really weird. Like when you look at Italy, France, Spain, Ireland, you think, why did our people ever leave there to begin with? You know, when you're a kid, you're thinking America, the beautiful. Everybody left nasty old Europe to come over here and start this beautiful country. It's gorgeous over there. This is a gorgeous planet.
I just heard today that Ireland, they think, was Atlantis. They've now said that
Ooh, drunk people? It's not underwater.
it's up now.
I'd have to say one of the most beautiful places I've ever been is actually Newfoundland. St. John's. We went out on a boat tour and we saw whales.
Yeah.
And you come out in the middle of the ocean, there's this island, and it's completely covered with puffins. It just looks like a big black moving blob.
Now, what were you doing up with the Newfies?
I actually have a friend of the family moved up there, and so we'd go visit every once in a while with my hippie mom.
That's nice. Your mom's a hippie?
She named me Chapin, man.
Chapin wasn't a hippie, just so you know.
Well-
like being named John Denver.
Okay, she was a folky type.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You and your mom close now?
She kicked me out of the house when I was like 18, and we've been kind of feuding ever since.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we get along okay now. I mean, we talk at least, you know?
All right. Here's John. John, you're on the Fez.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
It's definitely got to do with who you're with and the feelings you have. I mean,
I think you're right.
2 weeks in Greece, best 2 weeks of my life. Not Athens, but the Greek islands. Unbelievable and so much fun and beautiful.
You know, those Greek islands are just absolutely beautiful. When you see, there was a film from like the 80s called Summer Lovers where they kind of lived, the rocks go up so high above the water, and the Mediterranean is just gorgeous.
Yep.
It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, it's a good point. One of those things, Most Beautiful Day, also has a tendency to be at where you have a special feeling, like where you're just feeling totally good for yourself.
I have to take my Smoky Mountain thing back then.
Why?
I was driving through Asheville with Paul Lowe.
Yes, that was it. That was the highlight for you. Goddess wants to know if you know what the Billmore Estate is in Asheville, Fez.
No, I sure don't.
Yeah. She says that's the largest privately owned residence in the whole country. Thank you. Maybe you and Paul Lowe will go there next.
I leave tonight educated.
Yeah.
Even more so.
All right, let me find another one of these. Sid didn't come up with anything, did he, for most beautiful place he's ever been? And I actually, know it'd be Joe Theismann's taint, so I'm not going to ask him.
What, Sid? You found something more beautiful than the taint?
Front Royal.
Front Royal? Why?
It's one of the nicest places in Virginia.
Is that the farthest place you've been from home?
I don't like to leave the state.
I had the feeling that this is another 99-cent biscuit deal.
It was dark and I got a free biscuit.
It's the most beautiful breakfast I've ever seen.
And butter keeps forever. Forever, Pickles. Ever.
We are all loaded up, ready to go.
It's a stick of butter, not an isotope.
And you know how much stuff you can make with Bisquick, too?
Yes.
A lot. Pizza.
No, that's one of the things that you can't make.
Oh, yeah, you can.
No, you can put tomato sauce on a biscuit, but that doesn't make it a pizza.
I got a recipe, a Bisquick book. And then you can make pizza.
Will you bring us in a biscuit pizza, all right? And
Will
then
you eat it?
No, what I want you to do is hand it to us, turn around and run, and see if we can hit you in the back of the head with it before you get out.
I'd rather eat the book.
It's good. It's got meat on it and everything.
I bet it does with you. Everything ends up with meat on it with you around.
It doesn't mean to.
All right, here's one for all the guys on the show. What book is the most memorable you've ever read in your life? What book is the most memorable? That's a damn good question. Fez, for you, was it some kind of Notre Dame bio?
The Lou Holtz story. I'm trying to think. I don't read that many books, so I would probably...
All right, let me change this to the best book you've ever listened to.
Oh.
Because I know you like to listen to books on tape.
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? I'll go ahead and I'll say the Bible. It's the most memorable book I've read.
Easy answer. Not allowed to use the Bible.
Not allowed to use it?
No. The Bible's thrown out of everybody's answer.
But the other one, the only other book I've read is also the easy one.
What's that?
Catcher in the Rye. It was the one book that I read in high school.
You've only read 2 books in your life, Catcher in the Rye and the Bible.
Oh, my David Sedaris books. So let me say David Sedaris, Me Talk Pretty One Day.
All right, here comes Sid in here. What is yours? The Front Royal story?
No,
Things to do around Front Royal?
I wish I were joking on this one, but I'll show you Bert. And Ernie Keeps Breaking Things by Sesame Street.
That's when you were a little kid?
Yeah, and I remember it still.
So you don't read now in your private life?
No, just the sports page.
Nice. Healthy. All right, Dubs is ready.
In the 6th grade, I read Where the Red Fern Grows. And I really liked it because it was a story about a dog dying. And
I remember that, I think. It's almost like an old Yeller type thing, right?
Yeah. And it's very, very redneck, too.
God, I forgot all about that book. You know what? I was remembering a book at that age, too, called The Other Side of the Mountain. And I think they might have made a movie out of it, but I read it when I was a little kid, about a kid who gets trapped in a mountain for the winter, and he kind of lives on his own in this old tree. And I don't know what it is, those kind of books. I'm like, man, I can't wait till when I get older, I'm going to be an outdoorsman. Never happened for me. I want no part of it. All right, Crazy Jen, what about yours? The Bisquick cookbook?
Nah, mine was a book. It's called The Peaceful Warrior. And it's
Dan Millman.
Yeah, Dan Millman. And this man, his name was Socrates, and he owned a gas station, and it changed my life because he just showed me that I could do anything in my life.
And yet you haven't.
I'm getting there.
Oh, yeah, the reality show?
Yeah, I got a couple of them lined up.
Oh, yeah, I understand that.
And Bisquick pizza.
I'm going to bring you some of that. I'm going to show you the way. I'm going to load you up with some butter and some Bisquick pizza.
Quit pointing at me when you do it with your crooked, gross fingers.
All right, here comes El Jefe.
I love disaster stuff, and I remember in, I guess, high school, the first real book I ever read was The Hot Zone. The one about the Ebola.
Oh, yeah, I remember that book.
Yeah, that was a big one. I still remember. I still have it, too.
So you like a disease book. You like a book of massive disease.
Right, because they were kind of tracking the monkeys from Africa to maybe Boston, I think it was, and all over. So
it was about the
white people.
Oh, come on. Why?
You know. I know what you're doing.
Shock jocking. I'm sorry.
You don't need to be a shock jock.
Hey, can I make a comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All that stuff happened in Frederick, Maryland. They got the Ebola virus all in Fort Detrick. You read it in the book.
Okay, that's where it was. All right.
I hope you confuse it for one of your frozen sticks of butter.
It's by my house. I saw a deer with 3 heads one time.
You were high.
Nah, it did. It was running through the woods. I think it came from Fort Detrick. They got all kinds of secret stuff down there.
You saw a 3-headed deer.
A 3-headed deer, and it looked like its skin was turned inside out. Honest to God.
Were you high?
No, I wasn't high. I'm telling you, they do crazy stuff over there.
Maybe that's what happened to you, you bug-eyed bastard. That's your problem.
Why do I have the feeling your parents got you from the Fort Detrick orphanage?
Fezzy, it's like the X-Files over there, what the government's doing. You don't know.
No, we don't know.
It's crazy.
We know what they're up to. They're trying to make the perfect 3-headed deer.
Inside out.
It looked like an alien, all its skin and its veins, and it was nasty.
Did you end up dropping your biscuit?
I ran. I was looking for Secret Service people coming to get me. I can't let people see me see this 3-headed deer.
It was freaky looking, huh?
Yeah.
Imagine what the deer thought.
It was like 2 little heads on the side of it. No antlers, just 2.
All right, here's Chapin. Chapin, what do you got for us?
I'd have to say the most memorable book I ever read was the What's Happening to My Body book for boys, because my mom brought it into my room and read it to me.
Slowly?
Slow.
So that was exciting for you? What age?
I think I was like 11, and I hadn't exactly hit puberty yet, so I was still wondering.
You couldn't wait?
Right. But I didn't know what she was talking about. She brought it in all proud of herself, like I'm going to be a good mom and lay down and read this to you, and all over my head.
Lay down.
What? No, be afraid of the future.
It was cozy.
Now, where was your dad during all this?
My parents actually were divorced when I was, I think, 7 or 8.
So you don't know your dad?
I haven't seen him for a few years, yeah.
Yeah. So close family.
Yeah, it's a tight-knit relationship.
Growing up Chapin.
Yeah. Poor Chapin. Poor Chapin.
I got you guys. It's all good.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. It's the Ron and Fez Show.